Hello there. I don't know if anybody can hear me, but I'm testing out the streaming system in the PlayStation 5. Thought I would stream a bit of Minecraft. First, some introductions. My name is David Dockery. I am a PhD candidate at Texas A&M, and I study video games, religion, and philosophy, and communication. So my PhD is in communication, but I kind of study the constellation of those things. And one of the things I love to do is play video games and see what they're saying about people and what it means to be human. And I think that Minecraft is an amazing example of this. Because Minecraft is about building a worldview. So I'm going to hop in a server and show what I mean by that. Let's create a new one. Let's do survival. We'll be a little less generic. Call it worldview building. I am not hardcore, so I'm not going to do hardcore. Create. Okay, so Minecraft and worldview. What do I mean? You see, each of us does not just sort of have full access to the truth all the time. What happens is we have to construct a worldview. We don't just see the world as it is, we see it through the ideological lenses and beliefs that we have. There's no way to be perfectly objective because we're not objects, we're people. We have a perspective. So building a worldview is about constructing the way in which you see the world, and hopefully creating a way in which you see the world that is accurate to the world around you. And Minecraft is actually kind of handy about this because it throws us into a situation where we have to do that. We have to construct a sort of worldview in order for us to get along in this situation, because if we don't, we shall starve, and no one wants to do that. So the first thing that I like about Minecraft is that it forces you into this kind of mysterious situation, because you wake up and you have no idea where you are. Like, you can see everything, but it's not like you spawned with a map of the entire universe. You're just kind of trying to figure it out as you go. And if you think about it, that's sort of the way all of life is. You know, when you were born, it's not like you had a map of your whole life handed down to you. Sure, there are expectations about what you would do, but you know, what it means to be human is something that we kind of figure out as we go along. And Minecraft is sort of simulating that by just throwing us into a situation. But even with all this mystery, there are some basic facts that I know. I know that I'm hungry, that I have health, and that I need to do something about it. So I am going to try and explore a bit to see what is around me. Ah, something unusual here. We have a nether portal. Now this is important, but it's not immediately obvious why. But I'll tell you why. Because this portal here represents a break in our ordinary experience of the world. Now, most places in Minecraft look kind of like this. You got the grass and the trees and the forest, you got the animals, but then there's this obvious jarring thing, you know. this thing that clearly doesn't belong in this landscape and is actually kind of dangerous. Like, if I walk on this magma, I get hurt. Well, the reason this matters is something that a certain religious scholar, a scholar of comparative religion, pointed out, named Mircea Eliade. And Mircea Eliade argued that what separates our experience of religion is our ability to separate the sacred from the profane. The profane is kind of like the ordinary, right? But the sacred is what is this special experience that erupts into the ordinary. And it gets imbued and embodied in places. That's kind of what we have going on here. I don't know that I would call this particular location sacred, but it's certainly out of the ordinary and stands as a reference point compared to the relative homogeneity, the relative sameness of everything else. But it also has some nice goodies too. So now I've got resources as well. There's not a whole lot I can do with them. I don't understand the things that I am using just yet. I'm just gradually getting a better sense of my place in the world. But, if I wander around, I can destroy things. And because I've played this game before, I know that if I destroy the trees, I get wood. And wood is like the most basic resource in Minecraft. You need it to craft basically any kind of tool. So I'm going to get myself some wood here and start doing just that, crafting tools. So one of the neat things about the mechanics of Minecraft is that it incentivizes you to take the natural world around you and process it into new forms. Which says something about what it means to be human. Our goal is not merely to coexist with nature, according to Minecraft. Our goal is actually to transform nature, to make nature into something useful for us. And the way you do that is by exploiting the natural resources available to you. So now that I have some wood, a crafting table, I'm going to get busy here. It appears that we are not alone in the cosmos. It looks like we have some potential visitors, other intelligent life forms. Intriguing. Well, we're not going to investigate them just yet, but it's something that we have to factor into our conception of the world. Our Minecraftian dude is not the only person, that there are other beings that I have to get along with. Just because this seems like a good place to get settled, I'm going to try and build some tools here. This seems like a good start. I have some iron, so maybe I can jump straight to the good stuff. Well, that's about all I can do. Now we're talking. So get myself a shovel. Now I can begin doing the thing that Minecraft incentivizes you to do with the world, which is process it into something more habitable for yourself. One of the things that I love about Minecraft is that everybody seems to start it in a slightly different way. I remember uh, using Minecraft to teach some of my students these concepts, and the volunteer started Minecraft in a way that's completely different from the way I would normally start it, which goes to show you that there's different ways of constructing a worldview within a game like Minecraft. It's not all completely settled. In other words, the game affords different ways of looking at the world. And affordance is a special term we use for the suggested use of an object. And you have a hammer. The suggested use of a hammer is to hammer nails. You could do other things with a hammer, but that's not really what it's meant to do. And in the same way, the game mechanics of a game like Minecraft incentivize certain things, like mining and crafting, but that's not the only thing that Minecraft can be about. The way you work within those mechanics is how you add a sense of individuality to the world you're building. Well, now the night has begun to fall. This is where Minecraft hammers home the point about the need to make the cosmos habitable, so that it's not just you wandering around forever. It's because the cosmos is full of bad guys. It's full of forces that seek to harm you. Things like zombies and skeletons and creepers. These things are obstacles to living a fulfilling life. Because if you don't pay attention to them, they'll kill you. So, humanity in Minecraft is really about pushing back the forces of darkness inherent in the cosmos, the forces of chaos that threaten to destroy the things you make, and the way you push them back is by building, by taking the reins of nature. Something as simple as a crafting table. With a little bit of ingenuity, you can add light to an otherwise dark world. You know, one of the things I've always loved about Minecraft is how peaceful the music is. Which is odd, because when you think about it, based off of everything I've just said, Minecraft is in a lot of ways like a survival horror game. Think about it. You're tossed into this dark, unknown situation surrounded by monsters, and if you don't do things correctly, you'll die. But it doesn't really feel like that. There's a sense of grandeur and adventure to Minecraft. I think part of that is the music. So now we've got some coal, charcoal. Let's make a few torches. Provide our first step to permanently driving back the darkness. Alas, we are out of wood. My lack of math skills comes back to bite me. I probably shouldn't have used all those planks. But that is okay, because I will use the power of crafting. Oh, I'm not out of wood. Duh. There we go. Still don't have enough. Unless we go out and brave the darkness. Now, one of the interesting mechanics of Minecraft is that it's actually conceptually similar to Dark Souls in the way experience works. Experience isn't something you simply gain, it's also something you lose. Well, there we go. The dangers of the cosmos. So now I'm having to rely on what I've learned so far to get through this hostile situation, which was caused by my, failure to properly handle things, my impatience. So it's experiences like these that also go into making our worldview. It's not just abstract ideas, it's the way we actually engage with the environment around us. Oh, that's cool. Ah. I clearly am not ready for this. So as you can see, the cosmos can be a pretty hostile and dangerous place. If I just run out there and do nothing unprepared, then it's not going to end well for me. So I have to be smart about this. I have to rely on my capabilities as a human being one of these being the ability to create. So if anybody comes back down here, I'll just hit them in this little hole. I am in a pretty desperate situation, though, because now I'm severely injured. The sun rises. And with the rising of the sun comes the death of the monsters. Unless you have a golden helmet. Ah. Regardless, you get the point. There is a deep metaphor that structures the entire Minecraft universe. And it's one that doesn't immediately stick out, but it's actually extremely important to the way the game works, which is that sort of light versus darkness motif. Light is order. Light is the ability to create and transform the world into something habitable, something that is useful for the player, i.e. the human being. Darkness is chaos. It is a threat to the created world. In darkness, the monsters come out. In darkness, they destroy the things that you love. In darkness, you lose the things that you've worked so hard to find. And so the telos, the purpose for human beings in Minecraft is to drive back chaos. It's to drive back the darkness. We've already begun to do that by digging here, but right now we're very much in just trying to survive. So to that end, I'm going to see if I can get myself a sturdier structure so I'm not forced to hide in a cave all night. This isn't going to be pretty, so forgive me. Now in Minecraft, another thing that falls into building your world is the creativity that you use to imbue space with meaning. The structures you build are what give meaning to this otherwise randomly generated environment. For example, this missing corner offends me. I want it to be basically the same all the way around. There's principles of symmetry and order that makes the world a beautiful place as opposed to an ugly one. And I feel a need to encounter those in the things I'm creating. It's not enough for the things I build to be purely utilitarian. They have to be something pleasing. means that I need more resources. Now, yes, I understand this isn't the most efficient way to play Minecraft. That's the way I play Minecraft. It's part of the way I view the world created by this game. I'm sure that technically speaking, it's more efficient to use the iron pickaxe I have right now. I'm going to hold off on that for the time being. In fact, I'm not going to go any deeper. Instead, I'm going to widen this area out. Because if I go deeper, I'm going to run into materials that are not like the materials that I've been working with, which will upset the sense of order and unity that is guiding how I build the things I'm building. So I think this shows another important principle, which is that while I'm building a worldview for myself, I'm not building it from nothing. I'm building it from the materials that the world offers up to me. I can't build a house out of a theoretical material called ether, because ether doesn't really exist in Minecraft. Even if it did, I don't have access to it right now, which means I have to settle for stone, specifically cobblestone. So while the world view you create is constructed, it's not wholly under your control. You have to work with what you've got. This is where, occasionally you hear metaphors and statements about social construction in certain academic disciplines. And there's some truth to that, but it also overlooks. You can also take that too far. You have to construct something of something that already exists. So there, looks like we got something going for us at this point. But I need more wood. So I create another tool. I think the EPA will let me get away with some moderate deforestation. That's even under the EPA's jurisdiction. All right, I think that's enough for the time being. Let's see. Move my crafting table back up to the top. Because I'm tired of living with the dirt floor. Some torches to drive back the primordial force of chaos. Now I can start installing some wooden floors in, so I'm not a complete barbarian. But notice how much better off I am already than I was that first night. Notice how just by building up a wall, I have made the world significantly more habitable. And this is what Minecraft is trying to tell us about the world in general. You have to put in the work. But if you do, you can drive back the darkness. And even though it doesn't seem like much, within this entire area that I have dug out, I am safe from monsters spawning in. Of course, we can be more or less good at viewing meaning into the world. As you can see right there, I made many mistakes. But you can always go back and fix them, right? Big step up from where we were at. Let's make a door. Actually, better. Let's make a chest. The invention of the chest is a pretty radical step forward in constructing your Minecraftian's worldview, because it signifies surplus. For the first time, you have more stuff than you can carry around with you. signifies wealth. You're rising above pure survival now. As we've seen, my combat skills are not great. I could just wait all this out, but I'm impatient. But you know, even with the concept of wealth now being operative in my worldview, things are still more or less pricey, right? I didn't pay any money for this coal, for the torches, but they're expensive right now for me nonetheless, because I have to go get the wood, I have to process the wood into sticks, then I have to find coal, which I either need to get by mining or by turning wooden logs into charcoal. So it's a pretty involved process, and that makes torches more expensive than dirt, which I can just get out of the ground. But nonetheless, the world I'm living in is slowly becoming more sophisticated, more symbolically constructed rather than purely physically constructed. Now that it's night again, I think this would be a good time to comment on what the individual monsters in Minecraft signify. Now, when I say something signifies something, I mean that it stands for a bigger idea than just what you see on screen. Like the zombie, for instance. Zombies tend to come in hordes, and they look a lot like Steve, the Minecraft player character. So it's kind of like looking at an uncanny valley version of yourself. A version of you that's dead. It's looking at failure and potentially final destruction. It's pretty threatening because there's a lot of this kind of monster is pretty common. Skeletons are a little bit less like you, but they're more sophisticated, right? Because they have an actual tool to fight you with, which other monsters do not have. So to some extent, they rise above the level of being a pure beast. In some sense, they're like you. But I think that the most interesting and maybe the most symbolically important monster in Minecraft is the creeper. And the reason why it is so important is because it alone is the kind of monster that will destroy the things you've built. Nothing else so epitomizes the concept of destruction and chaos as the creeper. Things like the spider, they get around some of the things you construct by climbing around them, and the zombie sort of looks like you, so it symbolizes a failure to adapt to the chaos. And skeletons signify a sort of threatening order within the chaos. But creepers alone really represent that total destruction. You know, they are the epitome of darkness in the Minecraft universe, even above things like the Enderman, because the Enderman won't bother you unless you bother it. creeper is the active force of destruction trying to eliminate the world you're creating. But it's not all bad. Fortunately, I didn't have a whole lot on me. I began a thought about the relationship between experience and the player, and how you can lose experience. And later we will see how it's related to magic. I think this is interesting because it makes Minecraft conceptually similar to a game like Dark Souls. I mean, think about it. You collect the experience from the things you kill. So the experience isn't in you, it's in the objects and the enemies you defeat. And then you have to spend that experience or it sort of wastes away, especially when you die. And you can lose it. So experience isn't something in Minecraft that just sticks with you forever. It's a spendable asset, which sort of brings Minecraft back into this economic metaphor I've been using about how Minecraft is about exploiting the resources around you. Even experience is a spendable resource. Alright, I'm probably not ready for this, but I'm feeling ambitious. Let's go make contact with these visitors. What have we got here? So I'm not alone in the cosmos. And the people that I'm having to share it with definitely don't like me. Which changes the entire calculation of how I see the world. Not only are there primordial, natural, chaotic threats to my existence, there are also threats that are much more human. And I have to learn to adapt to those as well. In some ways, those human threats are more dangerous because they're even more like me. They have better weapons. They can build things. I mean, look, their little watchtower is even cooler than my little hut, which does not yet have a roof. It's time I do something to anchor myself to a new home. Which means, sheep, your time has come. Aw, man, I only got one wool out of that. I'm sure there's another sheep around here somewhere. It'd be just my luck if there's one on screen that I missed. I don't know how other people make their calculation about where they settle, but I like to settle somewhere close to water, close to trees, usually in like a plains biome that has lots of animals. It's a really resource abundant areas. It's nice if there's a desert nearby too. Things like glass. Aha. Worry not, sheep. Your sacrifice will be worth something. I assure you. Also got some good lamb chops out of it as well. It's a win-win. So this is a pretty significant step in and of itself because I'm collecting a new kind of wood, birch wood. The reason that matters is that now I have a greater sense of aesthetic choice. Before, I was sort of stuck using oak wood. But now, I have a little bit more of an option about what I want things to look like. And that's a choice that's not purely related to survival. It's another way of transcending chaos. Furnace is down there, but that's annoying. Yeah, another big step. Because I have a bed, I no longer have to respawn at the main spawn point. I will respawn here. Which puts me one step closer to escaping the randomness and the necessities of nature. Gives me one step closer to controlling my own destiny. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to turn these logs into coal. Then I'm going to replant these trees, but not in exactly the way I found them. It may seem that I'm restoring nature when I replant trees, but that's not actually what's going on. What's actually going on is I am reformatting nature to suit my desires. These trees are now closer to where I live. But nonetheless, that's not necessarily bad for the existence of the forest. So the relationship between humanity and the environment in Minecraft isn't merely one of total exploitation. There's also a sort of symbiosis between humans and the world that they seek to transform. I say as I cut down all the trees. Actually, I'm going to let them kill me. To illustrate the point. Sorry, reflex. See, now dying, even death, isn't as bad as it was, because I have used a new technology, the bed, to improve my existence, reshape my world. Since I have a bed, I can skip this night altogether. Well, not while there are monsters nearby. Go downstairs a bit. Sleep straight through the night. Done. Some food. So now I'm going to build a roof after I eat a breakfast of lamb chops. And again, this is one of those things that I don't necessarily have to have, but it looks cool. That's one way in which I'm transcending pure survival. I'm adding a symbolic element to the world. That too is a part of building a worldview. Why use stairs to create the roof? Well, because it looks kind of like what I envision a roof to look like. I could just put a cobblestone covering over it. That would work just fine. But it doesn't capture how I conceive of a roof. That's important to do. Oops. It's a good thing I went to grad school instead of becoming a roofer. I would not be very good at it. Exhibit A. You know, another thing I like about Minecraft is that it encourages you to take things slowly. In a world full of TikTok and shorts, it's really tempting to just speed through everything. But if you want to do a project like this, you have to stop and slow down and think through things. Granted, sometimes people pass building projects like this by listening to podcasts or music. But I think that sometimes it's helpful to just stop and reflect, which adds a kind of meditative element to Minecraft that I really enjoy. You know, when you just stop and look over the horizon, look at this little thing you built, it really puts into perspective your relationship with the world. There's a certain philosopher named Desserteau who wrote about how there's a distinction between spaces and places. And Desserteau thought that a place was like an area that had been organized for some purpose. And the space was something we created by going beyond that purpose. And I think that the world of Minecraft is, in a manner of speaking, a place that was designed for exploration and building and crafting. But I think more than that, as we build houses and we light up the darkness and push back the monsters, forces of chaos, Minecraft also becomes a space. It becomes a space for exploring what it means to create a world and to gain a worldview, a way of looking at things as opposed to merely existing. And that's why I think that Minecraft is such a great game. It's a good game to start with. It's a good game to keep playing, and I plan to play it as long as I'm capable of doing so. So, thank you for watching, and I hope that next time you play Minecraft, you enjoy getting to build a worldview too.